Matthew chapter 9, verses 35 to 38. And Jesus went about all the cities and villages, teaching in their synagogues and preaching the gospel of the kingdom, and healing every disease and every infirmity. And when he saw the crowds, he had compassion for them, because they were harassed and helpless, like sheep without a shepherd. Then he said to his disciples, "The harvest is plentiful, but the labourers are few. Pray therefore the Lord of the harvest to send out labourers into his harvest." On Sunday morning, we are celebrating the harvest of the workers in our all-age worship. We're going to be appreciating all of those people who not only plough the fields and scatter, but bring us all good gifts around us, or help to bring all good gifts around us through their labours. And one of the things we're going to be thinking about today is our relationship with work and our labours. I wonder how you feel about your work. Maybe as soon as I say that, you are imagining a very long to-do list that's making you feel quite anxious thinking about it. Or maybe listening to this on a Sunday afternoon, you're starting to feel that creeping sense of dread that the working week starts tomorrow. Maybe you genuinely enjoy your work and you get a lot out of your working life, but sometimes it feels overwhelming, stressful, just a bit too much. Maybe you're without work, and we know that being without work can be a great cause of worry and anxiety, and people can feel without purpose. Maybe your work now is all unpaid, voluntary, unseen work, but no less important. And sometimes you might feel that sometimes the importance of your work is not seen by others. Maybe even in retirement, you are filling your days with voluntary commitments and looking after grandchildren, and you wonder how you ever manage to fit into your days paid employment. Work can mean so many different things to so many of us, and in our service on Sunday morning, we're going to be celebrating everybody's gifts of labour and what it contributes to us as a society. When work is hard, and we sometimes do have that difficult relationship with work, one thing that I think might really help us is to remember that Jesus also was a worker. He experienced human work. And I thought this morning, through Matthew 9, we would just have a little glimpse into the working life of Jesus. As a worker today, one of the things that I find most stressful about my job is emails. Endless emails and a full inbox. So I am going to imagine this morning, what if Jesus had an inbox? What would one of his working days be like? Jesus steps off the boat. His working day has begun. Dear Jesus, we find ourselves in a moment of great need and are reaching out to you with utmost urgency. Our dear friend is currently unable to walk due to a serious ailment, and we are beseeching your expertise and healing abilities to help us in this dire situation. We have anxiously been awaiting your arrival. As we are currently situated by the lake, our friend resting on a mat in desperate need of your intervention. Please, we implore you, come to our aid as soon as possible. With utmost gratitude and anticipation, friends of the paralysed man. Dear teacher, we have recently come across concerning reports regarding your involvement in matters related to blasphemy. It has been alleged that you are making claims about having the ability to forgive sins. As you are aware, the forgiveness of sins is something which only God has the authority to do. We believe that it is essential to address these reports promptly and clarify any misunderstandings that have arisen. We kindly request a meeting at your earliest convenience to discuss these matters further. Please let us know your availability for a meeting, and we will coordinate a suitable time and place for this discussion. Sincerely, teachers of the law. Dear Rabbi, I hope this email finds you in good spirits. I wanted to express my admiration for the incredible healing event that took place recently. Your ability to heal a paralysed man was truly remarkable, and the response from the crowd overwhelmingly positive. It's clear this event has generated significant attention and positive publicity for our cause. Your actions have inspired many and reaffirmed our commitment to the work we do. I look forward to discussing the impact of this event and its implications for our future endeavours. Warm regards, John. Dearest son, I've been assessing our current situation and believe it's time for us to consider bringing in some additional workers to help with our mission. I wanted to suggest you take some time today to explore potential candidates for your recruitment. One individual who caught my attention is Matthew, the tax collector. From what I've seen, he might be a good fit for our team. As partners in this heavenly endeavour, it's crucial that we have a dedicated and capable workforce to further our mission and spread our message. Please take the initiative to reach out to Matthew and discuss the possibility of him joining our cause. Let's continue to work together in fulfilling our divine purpose and making a positive impact in the world. All my love, Father. Boss, more Pharisee complaints. They're upset about you dining with sinners and tax collectors. Simon Peter. Learned teacher, may we seek your wisdom on a critical theological question? Why do your disciples not fast? Your in-depth response is greatly anticipated. Sincerely, a disciple of John. Master, please, I implore you, help me. My daughter has passed away. If you could come and place your hand on her, she will live again. Desperately, Jairus, synagogue leader. Dear Rabbi, I hope this message finds you well. It's with heavy heart that I reach out to you today. For the past 12 years, I've been suffering, and I've heard of your remarkable abilities. If I could only muster the courage to ask you this, may I humbly request the chance to touch the hem of your cloak? I believe it might be the key to my healing. With utmost shyness, anonymous woman. Dear Jesus, we have completed the essential preparations for the upcoming funeral. The arrangements include gathering of mourners and arrangements for the piper to play. To ensure everything proceeds smoothly, we require your input regarding the timing of the event. Please advise us at your earliest convenience. Yours sincerely, Shalom Burial Services. What do you mean, go away? Are you having a laugh? The girl is dead. The funeral needs to take place now. Shalom Burial Services. Dear Jesus, incredible news. My girl has come back to life, and the word is spreading rapidly throughout the region. Can you join us in Capernaum tomorrow to celebrate this extraordinary miracle? Warmest regards, Jairus. Have mercy on us. We are blind. You can make us see. Two blind men. Boss, it seems the blind men you advised not to speak have shared their experience, and now the news is spreading. Are we content with this development, or should we take action? Your guidance on how to proceed would greatly be appreciated. Sincerely, Andrew. Please help my friend. He is possessed by a demon, and he's lost the ability to speak. A concerned friend. Seriously, now you're casting out demons. I must refer you to our previous conversation regarding the forgiveness of sins. This is not within your jurisdiction. Are you trying to claim the title of Prince of Demons? An extremely annoyed Pharisee. Dear Jesus, the following appointments scheduled for today. 1 p.m, visit Capernaum. 2, preaching at the synagogue. 4 p.m, proclaim the good news. 5 p.m, heal every disease and sickness. Please ensure that you are prepared for these events and that you manage your time accordingly. If you have any questions or need assistance, feel free to reach out. Best regards, Outlook calendar. I've imagined that Mark chapter 9 is a day in Jesus' life, and it gives us an insight into what his work was like. He was in demand. He was always busy. He always had to give his time to others. The more he was successful, the more people wanted his time. He was criticised and he had to deal with conflict. It must have been very emotionally demanding and stressful. So what can we learn from how Jesus copes with his working life for how we should cope with our working life. Firstly, for Jesus, all work is God's work. We might start to believe that only certain types of work are God's work. We might associate it with full-time Christian ministry. We might think what Andy does on a Sunday is God's work, or what Sandy and Kirsten, who are joining us on Sunday, do in missionary work is God's work. But our work, wherever we are, whether that is voluntary work in our local community, paid employment, work in our own homes, that is all God's work. As it says in Colossians, whatever you do, work with all your heart as working for the Lord. Work is worship, and so we should take a worshipful attitude to our work. Secondly, Jesus infuses his work with compassion. It tells us in the text that Jesus had compassion on the people because they were harassed and helpless. I think if we can remember God's compassion in our work with the people that we deal with, it will help us to deal with conflict. It will help us to deal with being in demand, because we know that other people need God's love, and our working life is about spreading that love and having compassion on others, and having compassion sometimes on ourselves when we are harassed and helpless too. Thirdly, Jesus was part of a team. He had the disciples around him. He did not try and do his work alone, and we should not try and work alone. We should always accept the help of others. We should also pray. The conclusion of Matthew 9, Jesus says, pray to the Lord of the harvest for the workers. The disciples were asked to pray for more people to come and help with the work. And we should be committing to that as individuals and as a church, to pray for people in all areas of work, to bring their needs before Jesus, and also to pray that God will bless us with more people to do God's work. But an interesting idea is that in the next chapter, Jesus goes on to call the disciples and send them out to do that work. So if we pray that God will provide workers for the harvest, we have to accept that we might be those workers in some ways and be prepared to act, not just pray for other people to do it. But prayer is important when we're struggling with our work and we need more workers. And finally, we need to remember to rest. God commands us to have a day of rest. He took a day of rest from creation, and Jesus goes off when he needs time. He goes to a quiet place. He goes off in the boat and rests, and we must remember to rest too, if we want our working lives to be refreshed. Here's to all the workers today. We thank God for all of our labours and ask God to bless them. Thank you.